feels weird already.
It does feel weird already. I'm not going to tell everyone what's weird.
No.
But...
oh, God, it could be anything at this point.
But welcome back. I say welcome back, like people are regular listeners. People have definitely found this by mistake.
Yeah.
This is Interesting Things Said by Uninteresting People, a podcast where we just talk about things that we find interesting. My name's Ben, and I'm joined as always by the better half of the podcasting crew, Tom.
Hello.
How have you been, my friend?
Really good. Oh, no, have I? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I really kind of jumped off the mark there and said really good when really I've just been okay.
So, whoa, cool your heels, mate. Rein this back in a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe I've just had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like with obviously the two bands and been helping mix some record another bands. I've been really bandy recently. Band stuff, and we had band photo shoots and then band video and then lots of different band stuff on the go.
This is cool because your the new band, the new project for you is out in the public now, isn't it?
It is. Child.
What did you call me?
What did you fucking call me?
Is it Child all in capitals with spaces in between the letters as well?
Oh, of course.
Oh, mate.
Stylistic value. Do you know what? I'm really happy that we went with Child because there's lots of names being chucked around and I hated all of them.
Yeah.
And initially when Child was thrown up, I was like, do you know what? Actually, that's okay because Jack is a child. But no, there was the first name we had was Yellow Love, and I was kind of okay with that. I was like, band name's a band name and whatever.
I can tell you now.
Yeah, I know.
On the one hand, I'm happy you didn't do that, but on the other hand, that would have been a great name to just have a chuckle about every now and again.
Exactly. Then it changed to Slow Dance, which I hated.
Okay.
But a lot of people were keen on that, and I really stood my ground, and I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it, full stop.
The minute you put, not to throw in my two Pennyworth here, but the minute you put a style of music into the name of your band, the style of the thing, you lock yourself in pretty...
Yeah, and then Child came up, and I was like, do you know what? Simple and to the point, and kind of like, it's just a band name, so fine, Child is good.
Yeah, no, man.
Easily go on a poster. Could imagine going to see it.
Yeah.
See it?
I can imagine going to see it, for sure. Maybe we'll have official talk about
it
at some point. Not today. Oh, no, not today. Why would we talk about things we're talking about now today?
I don't know. It's not right.
We normally, at this part in the podcast, I say normally, it's episode 5. I think we decided this like 2 episodes ago.
No, there's only last... Yeah, it was 2 episodes ago we decided, but then I didn't have any good news. Welcome back to Tom's Good News. That's the segment we're coming up to, wasn't it?
That's it.
Good. Tom's Good News. And I may have OD'd on good news last time.
Oh, right.
I mentioned a lot of good news. Don't know if you listened back to it, but I kind of fired off quite a few things. And then I realised when I went to check for more good news in 2016, maybe I had listed all of it last month. And so when Ben asked me today, have you got any good news, the answer, unfortunately, was nothing I've already said.
No.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, mate, as well, because
it is a shame.
When you look at, we're not going to be a political podcast. I don't think. We're not going to try and be a serious podcast.
To a certain degree.
But when you look at the state of the world as it is at the minute, I'm not going to lie, mate, I'm nervous. I say scared. When you see what's going down, I'm really unsettled. Did you see the doomsday clock has been moved to 2 minutes to?
Really?
I didn't see that.
Why have we got a doomsday clock?
Yeah. It is.
Like it's something straight out of Watchmen.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I guess maybe doomsday clock's been around for a while.
It's been around for a fair bit, yeah.
That's utterly close. Like I put 2 minutes to, surely after the zombie outbreak. Do you know what I mean? 2 minutes to 2 seems like we're nearly there.
Yeah. Well, the trouble is as well, I always feel like the minute you start telling people... I know a lot of people are seeing the world for how it is, and they're saying that it's a bad time at the moment anyway. But the minute you give it these PR-y kind of... I know it's not just PR, but this kind of... we are in the shit. Yeah. People start seeing it more, and the panic builds a little bit or whatever.
Reverse placebo.
Yes, yeah. A nocebo. Yeah. I found out what that's called the other day. It's called a nocebo, yeah.
Well, that is a nocebo then.
And apparently, just to get completely sidetracked here, because I thought it was really interesting, nocebos are way more effective than placebos.
That's not surprising.
No, so if the dentist goes, Tom, brace yourself, mate, because pulling out these 6 teeth is going to hurt like a bastard.
It's going to kill, yeah.
You'll feel like it will hurt a lot more.
Yeah, because you know it's coming.
Yeah. There you go. Ben's
word
of the podcast.
Even if I don't go to the dentist, even if I do go to the dentist and they say, this won't hurt, I'm like, you bloody liar, it's going to kill.
Dude, I'm just
it all kind of boils down to Trump, doesn't it, really?
Well, this is it, isn't it? Yeah. Again, without getting overly political views here, he's a bit of a wanker. The worst thing I saw about it was it was like a classic political cartoon, and the political. Oh no, there's two. There was a picture and a political cartoon. I'll explain the political cartoon first. There's basically loads of people gathered around a pregnant woman who didn't want to have the baby, and a refugee behind them, obviously born with nothing, and they were more worried about this baby being born than the baby that's already behind them. And the other one I saw was just Trump was making it, correct me if I'm wrong, he's making it stricter to get an abortion, or making it a lot harder or something like that. Basically what he's doing is they've relaxed. They've basically said that US foreign aid isn't going to go to, or aid in general isn't going to go to organisations where some of it might be spent, even if it's not that particular funding, but where that organisation supports abortion.
And there's a photo of him signing that.
Yeah.
All men.
Yes.
And it's the biggest kind of statement I thought. I was just like,
absolutely.
Bloody hell.
At the time of recording, mate, what's this? Is this day 8, day 9 of his presidency?
Something like that, yeah, week in.
And how
he's done loads. Fair play to him. He's stuck by a lot of what he said. He's cracked on. He's not wasting any time.
Yeah.
The wall looks like it's going to be built.
Yeah. Well, did you see that it was proposed at one point they were going to start putting a 20% tax on Mexican imports?
I did, yeah.
But that's only going to hurt Americans.
Yeah.
So they've immediately done a U-turn on that, going, oh, actually, no, that perhaps wasn't that thought through.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's just so ridiculous. It really is. I don't know. You can't see this. I'm holding my head in my hands. Ready?
Hands. we all heard it. But it's crazy. But I fair play to him for going through with it.
Yeah.
For being a politician that said I'm going to do this, and is doing it.
Well, there was a great political cartoon before. It makes it sound like we watch these all the time.
We really don't. It's just see on Twitter.
Yeah. I got my Twitter
moments.
There was a cartoon where it's a load of sheep in a field, and there's a sign, and the wolf is there going, I am going to eat you. Yeah. And the sheep goes, well, yeah, you know where you stand. Yeah, at least it's honest. You know where you stand.
I've seen that one. Yeah, that is great,
dude. If we were this kind of we should get away from this because it isn't what we're about. No, but suffice to say, if this was what we were going to sit and talk about for an hour, we could have made notes on every little thing that's gone on.
Oh, easy.
From the Muslim ban. Effectively.
Oh man, I've only read about that today. I think I saw a little drips and jabs of it yesterday, and I read more about it today, and I was just like, holy shit! Like, we're beyond this, aren't we?
Yeah.
We thought we were.
Well, yeah. Well, dude, that's one of the things that makes me feel scared because it's so ridiculous and because it's happening.
It's so useful for ISIS as well. Like, it's unbelievably good news for them. Yeah. And the fact that they can't see that, or they can, or
yeah.
I kind of understand why. I can see why he thinks it would work.
Yeah.
Like on a base level, right? Let's stop those people coming here. Then.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, okay, that makes sense. It just needs someone to turn and go, actually, do you know what? If you start segregating people up like this, they're going to be more divided. They're going to feel more affiliated with whoever.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to join them.
They're going to feel much more disenfranchised for sure. This is what they rely on. This is what ISIS rely on. Yeah. Is young people who can be turned, because they feel that they're not welcomed by the people that were their friends. Mo Farah can't go home to the US, or potentially is going to struggle to go home to the US because he's of Somali origin. Which
it's mental.
It just seems absolutely
We've all seen
crazy.
Him on TV.
Yeah, he's a nice man. Anyone who
eats corn.
Who eats corn, it's got to be a good guy.
Oh, it's crazy.
But then there was the last thing about the statistics table of number of Americans killed per year on average, over a 10-year average.
Yeah.
Post 9/11, a lot of this is from the study post 9/11. The number of Americans killed by immigrant jihadi terrorists is 2 per year. And then on this table, suffice to say, there are a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Lawnmower deaths, toddlers with guns is one of them. Stepping in front of a bus.
Anything.
top of the list. Maybe predictably, Americans shot by another American, like 11,700 odd.
It's nuts.
So it's kind of, you think, well, for the amount of deal that you're making out of it, for the amount of rhetoric that's surrounded it saying this is a terrible thing, we need to keep them all out, we need to prevent the terror, we need to prevent this, that and the other, you're talking about a very small, potentially insignificant problem.
Yeah, it's just someone to blame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone to blame.
Trouble is, it's easy for him to point at Europe and go, well, look at the horror in Europe.
Happened, yeah.
It's very simple to say that when the answer is, well, it's not that simple.
No, it's not as simple at all.
Anyway. Right, that's it.
That's enough.
That's it.
That's enough Trump bashing.
I do have something cool just to tell you about.
Okay.
Now I think about it, which isn't necessarily good news, but I thought it was quite cool.
Okay.
It's an Instagram account for you to check out.
Okay.
It's a Japanese man called Tatsuya Tamakaya. No.
Nice. Did you write that down?
Tanaka. Man, my handwriting's terrible.
He's going to be
his first name's
fuming when he listens to this.
His first name's Tatsuya. I can remember his first name, all right. I don't remember many Japanese surnames. It is Tanaka, like Tiger Tanaka off of James Bond. The Instagram account is Tanaka_Tatsuya. Mm-hmm. I'll put a link to the spellings and things, the actual correct spelling in the show notes. He's super talented.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, this is a really, really nice account to follow. It's a daily post.
Yeah.
And the guy makes little macro-focused dioramas. So real small miniature things, but it's everyday.
Oh, like tiny.
Like really tiny. No, okay, so we're not talking pinhead size.
No, but
we're talking, yeah. Tom, for all your listeners, Tom. How high was that?
I was doing
about that big.
About that high. We're talking about a centimetre big.
Yeah, roughly, yeah. So it's...
I think I may have seen some of his pictures in random websites. I'm glad you brought it up because it's something I want to talk about, but carry on.
No, that was it. That's it, really.
And they're doing building work and stuff.
Yes. Or there are forests made out of bean sprouts or really, really cool things. Even if you just check it out, don't even give him a follow. Maybe give him a follow.
I would definitely give him a follow. I would follow him right now, but I can't for some audio-related reason. Something I did want to talk to you about. I'm glad you brought it up because I totally forgot. Mm-hmm. It's not really much to talk about. Have you ever heard of the art of knolling?
No.
I think you'll love it. Knolling.
Okay, go on.
I've seen it many, many times before, and you probably haven't explained it. But now I've seen it, I want to do it loads more because it's kind of like a photography thing, and it's kind of like a nice thing to do. So basically, if you see. This is what knolling is basically arranging all of your equipment of a certain thing, like you've got your pencils here, arranging them symmetrically in order of size on a table and then taking a picture of it. So everything's super symmetrical, like from tallest to biggest, and like everything fits in neatly into like a square. And then you take a photo of it, and it always looks so satisfying. There's a Tumblr blog called Things Arranged Neatly.
Okay.
And it's so nice to just look at.
I know the sort of thing you mean. I didn't know how to name, but
I didn't until the other day. I saw it. I was like, oh my god.
There are sites where people they call it your everyday carry.
Yeah.
Or EDC for those in the know, which basically means all you got in your pockets. And it is so it'll be like someone's phone, their wallet, their keys, but then like a little torch or a notebook.
People do it without realising it, because I kind of found it through people who say what's in my bag, and they'll take a picture of what's in my bag, and like that, and they lay it all out, or it's like what's in my tech bag or something.
Yes, sure.
And then I was like, what is it called? Because I think I was on Reddit, and I was just typing in like things arranged neatly or stuff like that. And I found the Tumblr blog, and there's a thing on the side that says this is knolling. Arranged and it came out. It was like given a name in 1970 something.
Oh right.
Some guy did it with all of his tools, just like arranged them all super neatly, nice pictures of them. It's a weird thing to do, but it's really satisfying to see.
Oh man.
There's a company called Nextbit, and all their photos for their phones are all knolling.
Cool.
It's knolling.
It's
weird.
Knolled?
It's weird. I'll show you some pictures.
Is it KN or is it
K? Yeah, KNOLLING.
Okay.
Knolling. It's cool. That was it.
That's fine.
That was it.
Well, interesting, because that leads on to, interestingly, as is the theme of the podcast, into something I want to talk about. I think we looked at this before the podcast.
Yeah.
It's images. is the place to start.
Yeah.
It's images. I can give you the website where you can probably the best source. I think this is the source of this type of images. The website is ostagram.ru. So Russian website. There is an English version on there, but it's just the images you need to look at. They are mental. They're really nuts. Basically the idea is that they combine two images into one new image, and it's all done with algorithms and tech, and the results look like human artwork, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. It's difficult to describe.
Found an equation for art.
Yes. Yeah.
Inverted brackets. That was.
I'm doing the quotes.
Yeah, the quotes. Because, well, yeah, like you were saying before we got started, like it is art because someone's told it to do that.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's art's made through people doing things.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it's a computer doing it and anyone can do it, does it make it art?
But it's really weird. It's like
But it looks utterly convincing. If someone said, I made this, you'd be like, okay.
I didn't realise this because it's built on Deep Dream software, Google's facial and image recognition software, their kind of AI algorithm that works with this. It started out as that story. Remember ages ago where these photos started cropping up, where it was like you could turn photographs into this really trippy, psychedelic. It was full of eyes.
Oh,
and there were lots of fish in it and dogs and things like this. Well, I remember that being a thing that people did. That was the first version of this software.
Yeah.
So it was basically the way the algorithm works is that Google Deep Dream looks at the image, and it says, right, it does first pass, and it says, right, that bit of that image looks a bit like a dog.
Yeah.
Or that little bit of the image there. Even if you can't really see it, it can see the similarities, saying that bit looks like an eye, or what have you. And it makes it look a tiny bit more like that thing. Then it does a second pass and finds new characters, kind of similarities. And then it builds it and builds and builds. Until eventually you end up with it making these crazy... People bought images off that had been created through that.
No.
It was a charity sort of event. But they paid thousands of dollars for them.
Mate, you just literally made me go ping with something I remembered I saw today. I was like, I've got to tell you because it's kind of all related. There's a really, actually, I'm surprised I haven't told you about it yet. There's an interesting YouTube channel called Nat and Low, and they both work at Google. If you work at Google, you get something what's called the 20% project. Have you heard of that?
I think so, yeah.
The idea is 20% of your work time at Google, you can do whatever you want, as long as it's related, you can't just go and have lunch for 20% of your time. You've got to do something productive for the company like that. These two started a YouTube channel for the company. They do it one day a week. I assume that's kind of 20% of your time. I'm not sure, something like that. And they make YouTube videos, and the idea behind the channel is they go behind the scenes at Google and just tell you stuff that's cool that Google are doing. Like, this is cool. They do lots of stuff on like how the internet gets places, weather balloon, everything, how they come up with the Android names. They do lots of like weird stuff, and they talk to Google employees. It's really cool. I'll link it. We'll link it below. The one they uploaded today, their first one of 2017 or whatever, was 5 cool things you didn't know about Google. The first one was they were talking about the games, like all built around Google. The Google Doodles, and you can play the game.
Like the Pac-Man Doodle that was for a while, yeah.
Did you know when you can't load a web page and the little dinosaur comes up?
Yes.
Do you know about this game?
I know the page.
If you're on a phone, if you tap the dinosaur like over and repeatedly, it turns into a game. Dinosaur starts running, and you have to jump over stuff.
What?
Yeah, I know, which is cool. Same on the internet. So if it doesn't load and you want to burn the time while the Wi-Fi restarts, keep clicking the dinosaur, and you can play this mini game, which is cool. Right? That's
surprised.
That's not why I brought it up. Basically, there's another. I can't remember the website. She talks about it in the video, and basically you draw. The computer gives you something to draw. It will just say roller skate. You have to draw a roller skate, and then the computer sees if it can recognise it. But it's all linked into that Google stuff. And the idea is the more you... Obviously, you'd have to do it millions of times, but the more you play with it, the better it feeds into all of it.
So
you're almost like a volunteer. So if you're talking about how it recognises eyes and makes it look like there's an off branch of that where you can go to that website and go, draw the eye, and it will go, okay, that's an eye. and then it absorbs it. But if you tell it it's wrong, it chucks it away.
So
loads of drawings of cats.
And
it'll go, that's a cat, and you say yes or no. If you go yes, that's absorbed into the hive mind or whatever. If you say no, it gets chucked away.
I love stuff like this because that's what Capture's for, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, I guess this is fairly common knowledge now.
Yeah.
But Capture is literally, because it's not doing it necessarily as a test. It is a test for you to make sure that you're a human.
Yeah.
But it's also you're reading things that a computer can't read.
Yeah.
So
when it's like pick 5 trees or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So or it'll be some of it's Google Maps.
Yeah.
Street View, I should say, where it looks like it's street numbers.
Yeah.
Where what it'll do is it'll give you 2 where it knows what 1 is.
Yeah.
And so that can test to make sure you're getting it right.
Yeah.
But then you give your opinion to it on what the other number is.
Yeah.
You don't know which is which, obviously.
Yeah.
But then if enough people give it the same opinion on what the certain number is, it goes, oh, that's number 5 then.
That is number 5.
Or that's number 328, or whatever it's going to be. Dude, because there are things to do medicine as well, where you can. I'm forgetting the exact details, but it's like a crowdsourced game to build antibodies or to build medicines and molecules and what have you, or compounds that will fight certain shapes that will fit into a certain place on a cell or a certain place into a virus. It's I'll see if I can do some digging up of just an article that's about these different things, and we'll link them up. But that's fascinating.
Yeah.
The idea of sure, it would take millions of times to get it, but then you've got billions of people around the planet doing these every second.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's incredible.
It's cool.
It really is.
You'd like that channel as well, and no, they're nice as well. They kind of like, it's kind of delivered in a funny kind of classic Google way, I guess.
Yeah,
do you know
sure.
what I mean? But yeah, it's cool. They do lots of stuff on Pixel as well, because Pixel was Google's first phone. Wasn't it? Like its first commercial.
Yeah, dude. We were talking about this before we started, but my Pixel Quest has had its breaks. Kind of, I'm doing the pulling the lever action.
I only want Ben to get a Pixel so I can make a video about his Pixel, because I can't afford one.
Well, to be honest, you hit the nail exactly on the head with why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I've had to replace my phone because I smashed it up. So I eventually bit the bullet and replaced it on insurance. I had a new phone. I was thinking I could just sell that and put it towards getting a new handset. But honestly, it still would have been a difference of about 100, 150, maybe even £200.
It's enough it's not like you've got a bad phone.
No,
at all.
No.
Is it S6?
It is an S6, yeah, rocking the old S6.
That's a good phone.
And yeah, it's not enough of a, like you described it perfectly, an incremental change. It's not. Yeah. Pixel 2, on the other hand.
Yeah, which hopefully be awesome.
I am excited, but I think we talked about before about how the first Pixel has been rushed in development.
Yeah.
Pixel, I'll be excited to see what they come up with when they're not.
Yeah,
so much of a rush.
I would too. I'd like to see a cool design, because it's not Beyond HTC who make the Pixel. They've made really good phone designs before.
Yeah.
Whereas the Pixel, no offense to it, is an ugly.
Yeah.
Beast.
It is, yeah. I mean, have you held one?
No,
so I don't know what they.
No, I've never seen one in person. In fairness, so
yeah.
I've seen them online. I just don't. I've seen plenty of videos. I've watched plenty of videos on them.
Yeah, daydreaming, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it looks okay. It looks like a classic. Annoyingly, it looks like a classic Android black slab.
Yeah.
Just another dull phone in the sea, which is depressing. Because, like, I really wish. Samsung have made it. Samsung have made one Nexus device a long time ago, like the Galaxy Nexus, which is Nexus, for people who don't know, came before Pixel. Nexus, Google put one out a year, and it's always been stock Android. This is how an Android phone should run, just so the other manufacturers could see it and go, okay, that's what we're aiming for, that kind of thing. And the last one was made by Huawei, which I actually had one, a 6P.
Okay. Yeah.
And LG made the Nexus 5, and Motorola made the Nexus 6. So there's been loads. There's been since Nexus 4. No, sorry, even before that. And I kind of wish Samsung made them, because Samsung's designs right now are killer. Yeah. Apart from the exploding battery.
There's 7. That. Yeah.
But
we don't talk about that.
No, I've got my S7 Edge still. Like, I've still got it at home. I didn't want to sell it because I've got the iPhone 7 Plus, but I would go back to the S7 Edge in a heartbeat.
No way.
And I'm really tempted to, because I just love the way it looks.
But
it's
Tom,
incredible.
It's not Apple. So what are you talking about? Honestly, I mean, because we all know, being on Apple's payroll, is this going to affect your credits?
As I'm now on Apple's payroll, according to a intelligent commenter on a video.
Hang on, what? I recognise both those words, but I don't, together I'm not sure. I don't understand.
Yeah, they don't go hand in hand.
Except for our commenters. They're great.
They're great. I love every single one of them.
If we've finished talking about Ostagram and the mixed images, just to reiterate,
go back to
check it out.
It's cool
because it's really cool. It's difficult to describe, obviously, through audio. They look incredible. Yeah.
And play with the Google dinosaur when your website doesn't load.
Yes,
that's cool.
The reason I'm wrapping that up is because, talking of tech, I know you've had a tech review come up on the Byte Review channel.
I have.
Which you've been waiting to put out for quite a while.
Yeah, I waited a really long time. And I explain it in the video, which I'm sure Ben will link below.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I don't want to plug it too much.
All right, mate. We've all got YouTube channels.
Yeah. I didn't put out... I had an Apple Watch, a Series 1. I didn't put out the review for a really long time, a lot longer than normal, because, and like I said in the video, when you get something like that you wear every day, you can't really make up your mind about it. And, you know, I usually give myself 2 weeks to kind of think, oh, what's it really like? But I was like, you know what, if I'm going to be living with it and replacing my watch, and, you know, for some reason it feels more... more intimate than a phone. It's always on you. You look at it a lot more than my phone. I check my watch a lot more on my phone anyway. Like, I always glance at time.
It's like a fashion thing as well.
Yeah, and it's a fashion. Yeah, it's everything. And, you know, everyone sees it all the time. And I've got quite not loads of questions, but I've never had a question about a watch before. But I had quite a few questions about, is that the Apple Watch? Is that the Apple Watch? And I didn't like it. After all that.
Cold, man. That's cold.
It doesn't. My biggest beef with it, which I say in the review, is which you can watch below, is it doesn't have an always-on watch face. Mm-hmm. And if you glance at your watch a lot, like I do, or like lots of people glance at their watch without really raising it, to be greeted with a screen that's got nothing on it is just so annoying. And it's, you know, if you take checking the time for granted if you wear a watch, generally speaking, you've always got it, and the second you don't have it, that irked me. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then you have to really make the arm movement. Or you have to make an obvious arm movement to check the time. And if you're talking to someone or in a meeting, you can't do that. You know, it's rude enough to check your phone. Sure. But that was less rude than obviously checking my watch. Like, I've got somewhere I need to be. Can we wrap this up? And we said before that a commenter said, you can just tap the watch face to see the time. I'm like, yeah, it's going to look even worse. No,
that's making the thing.
Yeah, it's making us do the action. Yeah.
As if it wasn't clear why I'm looking at my watch.
Yeah.
I just had me tap it a few times.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if you're into sport and you want to track you're running, then it's a totally different story, because it was really good for that. And I don't do any exercise whatsoever. I walk to work and I live like opposite work. But when I did use it, it seemed really consistent. It had loads of workout plans on it, and all the other
reviews, I'll never use.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I'll never use this. But all the other reviews I read said, you know, for sports tracking is actually up there with Fitbit. It's really accurate. The tracking of steps is really good. It's great. But the one thing which I really wish it had, which it just doesn't, or at least it doesn't for me, it doesn't have the kind of killer app that makes you think, God, I want the watch. Mm-hmm. Like, do you know what I mean? When smartphones came out and the iPhone came out, everyone wanted one. Yeah, it had that real desire factor, like, you can do so much more if you've got a smartphone. Email, tech, everything, listen to music. The watch, for me, has none of that. Okay. It is like purely an extension of my phone. And like I said to you before, I'd end up checking my watch and then checking my phone anyway. Yeah. So it's just an extra step, which I didn't need to take. And it's not the same for everybody, of course. Sending quick replies is really, really useful. But yeah, I really wish it had. And like I said, it might not have even been that useful, but I wish it was more contextual. Okay. So if I was driving, for instance, I drove here today, if I got in the car and I'm not sure what it would do, but if I went to a new place, if my watch just pinged and I looked at it, it would say, check out here, or did you know this happened here? Or somewhere that's kind of contextually, you can opt in and out, that's kind of cool. I don't know.
I've started to get that recently. I'm not sure whether I like it. Yeah. Because I obviously having an Android phone, I've obviously Google services on there. I rarely have my GPS location turned on.
Yeah.
Not a member of the tinfoil hat brigade or anything like that. I just don't turn it on because I don't use it really with what I'm doing.
Useful, yeah.
The contextual location-based notifications that I get when I have got it turned on feel weird, and it feels like I'm being watched. And I know that people might be into it, but like when I'm parked in a car or I'm just nearby somewhere, and it'll go, "Oh, what do you think of McDonald's here?"
I don't like that. I agree with you there.
That's weird.
What do you think of this place? It's like, I don't give a shit, mate.
Yeah.
But one thing that happened to me when I was using my Android phone, which I thought was fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'll say fucking cool because I thought it was.
Yeah.
We went on holiday. Bear in mind, I hadn't touched my phone or anything like that. I hadn't set anything up.
Yeah.
We went on holiday, came back from holiday. When we touched back down, when we were walking out the airplane or something, or we were on the way, I just got a ping on my phone and it said, "This is where you're parked." It had remembered where the car was. And I was like, whoa. That kind of, I was like, holy crap.
What?
Oh, yeah, I'm not even sure how. It must have just kind of, I always had GPS on.
Yeah,
It must have picked up where we'd gone to another country from that place. And it must have tracked the car, because I was using Google Maps to get to the airport.
Sure, yeah.
It must have tracked my stop location for, this is an airport.
Yeah.
He's clearly going to be here for...
Well, it also
ages.
They also I know Google will sync up with it'll sync with emails about when you book flights.
Yeah,
it'll book in your flights.
Yeah,
and it'll put it into your calendar and what have you. And this is mental, isn't it? It is quite scary.
It was, I guess, when you think about it, that is a bit creepy.
Yeah,
but when it pinged up, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
it knows, and like lo and behold, there was the car. It was. Yeah, there was the car.
That's cool, man.
It was really cool. I was like, fair enough.
Yeah,
that was useful. But that's kind of what I wish the watch had.
Yeah,
do you know
sure.
What I mean?
Like,
maybe when you've got smart homes and all that sort of stuff, maybe it'll be more useful. Like when your watch goes out a certain zone, your lights will just switch off or whatever.
Do you know what I think? Because I haven't had a smartwatch yet, and I'm not going to have one until this starts to happen. Because I think it's I think I see it as a kind of blank slate at the moment. Because
it hasn't figured its place out.
Dude, I mean, there are maybe three things I can think. Because, three bits of tech. Imagine, in the same way as when digital cameras on their own kind of disappeared and we ended up with lots of people using quite techie cameras, DSLRs and all that kind of business, and other people who would have had a digital camera just using their phone. Yeah. So digital cameras have kind of just disappeared as tech now.
The point and shoot is dead.
I remember when I did that long run, long run, I had a bit of kit that had I could input. It was only a small thing about the size of a small pack of cigarettes, maybe maybe even smaller than that, where you input GPS stops and you can set like 5 locations and say, remember this location, give it this name, and then it will give you almost like an electronic compass to get back there.
Oh, that's cool.
I could use it to find my way while I was doing it. And I've had there are lots of other bits of kit like that. But imagine if your watch, I don't know, maybe this is an app that's out there already.
Yeah.
But for one, that sort of thing where you could park your car and go, right watch, remember this spot, or where you put your tent on the moor, or whatever, and say, right, if I want to get back here, this is what it's called, like help me back.
Yeah, because I mean, it could easily ping as well. Do you know what I mean? When you get closer, like tink, 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 like
exactly.
that would be useful.
Or the old haptic. Yeah. Like, you know.
That's one thing the Apple Watch did really well. It doesn't vibrate like a normal phone or a watch. It taps you, and the iPhone 7 Plus has got that built in. It's that Apple Taptic engine, so it's literally like, that's what it feels like. If people can hear that, that's what it feels like. When you get a notification, it just goes. So it's just, it doesn't feel. Cool. It's not like.
No, sure.
Because I had a Pebble before that, and that just goes.
Did it ever make you jump?
No.
Good, because like that's one thing that tech shouldn't do. You shouldn't be startled by it. I don't think.
It was like a weird. Initially, first day a bit odd, but it was like a gentle reminder. You've got a.
Okay.
It's like, listen, look at me.
Talking of running, and someone that I work with has, I think, bought himself a new running watch.
Yeah.
I think it's only a matter of time before everyday smartwatches are more powerful than the watches you can buy specifically for sport.
Yeah,
and I think people like Garmin and Suunto are really going to start to struggle to compete.
I think you're right. When I see a Garmin one, I always That's sat nav, isn't it, for a car?
Yeah.
I've never thought, I'll get a Garmin.
Well, but this is the exercise thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they are, they're good for what they are. But when you start saying like the next generation, or in a couple of generations' time of Apple Watch or Android Watch or whatever, is better at monitoring your heart rate. And the app, because once you can put your own apps on it, you can make it behave in the same way as any of the running watches or sports watches that are out there.
Yeah.
Which starts to creep in, and I don't know, I can't see a reason to buy. It would be like buying a digital camera now. Yeah. Why would you buy a separate bit of kit that does some of what your everyday bit of kit does?
Yeah. That's it. But yeah, I think a smartwatch in 5 or 10 years will be amazing.
Yeah.
I think right now, unless you're living in, like I said, a fully automated smart home, like you've got the Philips Hue, you've got the everything. Because the Google ones integrate really well with Amazon Alexa, whereas the Apple one's a bit more locked down.
Don't want to play with. Don't play with Google, definitely.
Don't play with anybody. Yeah, but do you know what? I almost did it, but I think the reason I didn't is purely self-centered. Really.
Sure. Yeah.
I was going to review an Amazon Echo next. That was my next thing. Okay. Because you can get what's called an Echo Dot, which is about 50 quid. Does exactly the same. Doesn't have a built-in speaker. So you have to connect it to another speaker. So 50 quid trying to try it out. I thought, why not?
Yeah.
But then I thought about it. And it's been out for over a year, which is quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And which I kind of learned the hard way a little bit of this Apple Watch review. And I don't want to be focused on views and all the time and all that sort of thing. So that's not what about. I'm making it because I enjoy making them. But the Apple Watch review literally only hit 1,000 today. And that's been out for quite a while. It's been out for 2 weeks. And usually, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but to get to 1,000 is never usually a struggle.
Yeah,
it's like first week it will hit it pretty much consistently. But the Apple Watch, I think, because it was only 3 months older. Do you know what I mean? And, so when I saw the Echo, I was like, are people really looking for that right now? People really watching that sort of thing?
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I went off it.
I don't know, man, because you'd think there would be plenty of people who would, if they're looking to buy tech when they're not an early adopter, so they are looking to buy a Dot now. They would be looking for reviews, but by the time they're coming to look for reviews, all the other reviews that had all the likes and reviews,
they're all right at the top.
So I suppose it's difficult. Man.
I think I will. I think I'll do it next month or something.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know. I just at the moment I was like, no.
I say do it because I'd like to know what you think of it.
Yeah,
because it looks really cool.
I've got no home automation stuff apart from that. I'd have to buy a Wi-Fi bulb just so I can be Alexa.
This is the problem. This is when you get home to your girlfriend going, I've actually had to buy a bag load of new stuff for the house.
It was relatively
I spent all this money.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it like £2 signs out of 3.
yeah. It's not crazy.
No, don't be annoyed. But there is something that I do think would be quite cool, which the universe has handed to me. I say the universe, my dad. I saw my dad earlier today.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, my dad had tech news, which was news of it. So he
had
tech. I was like, what?
He was like, Ben, I got something for you.
I was like, oh yeah, another quality meme, is it? Like, thanks, Dad.
Really old one.
No, hey, my dad is on it with the videos. He, that guy who sprinkles the salt down his arm?
Yeah.
Dude, that meat guy sends me his videos all the time. Because
that's new meme.
We like to bark.
New memery.
It is.
Yeah.
I'd like to get so sidetracked here. Someone had a picture of him as their desktop with the icons trickling down from his hand.
Oh my god, that is good. That is great.
It was cool. But he was telling me about how the tech that's being developed now is in car tech to tell you, not just in car, but to tell you whether you are alert, whether you're awake, whether you're in trouble, whether you're drunk. And it can monitor all these out. Same sort of thing as the image recognition. It sees the patterns of people who are ill, asleep, drunk, or whatever.
Just the eyes shut for too long. Open them up.
Yeah. Open your eyes.
You are still driving.
Dude. So they're talking about having cars that will not only refuse to work if you're drunk.
Yeah, that's a good idea regardless.
But will actually report you.
Wow.
Which sounds a bit... it starts to creep into a different discussion, doesn't it?
Kind of territory,
yeah. But imagine if your watch could do something like that. Imagine if the smartwatches evolved to that point where the tech exists.
Well, do you know, I don't think it will be... I don't think it's crazy to think that if you go to a doctor and they'll say, okay, what's wrong with you? And they won't ask you. They'll take your watch off and then they'll analyse it. They'll just put it in the machine and be like, okay, your blood's been doing this, all your stats come up.
That would be incredible.
And then you can be like, oh, on Tuesday, you were really ill.
Yeah,
and then, you know, but there's the scary thought that if you have a day off work, like, let's see your watch then. Yeah. Let's see how ill you were.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It kind of creeps into that grey territory of being really overly, overly invasive.
Yeah. But the thing is...
But I don't think it'd be long.
No, I hope not. Well, the trouble is with monitoring your health with stuff like that, we've got some really cool tech now, like affordable tech.
Yeah.
Where things like, blood tests, DNA screening, full genetic mapping is now becoming affordable. Have you
what?
Have you heard about like poo vaults?
No. What? No.
Okay.
I've heard about something else about poo.
Okay.
Not my own.
Okay, no, not my own poo.
But I'm.
Go on.
Go on. No, you go on because it might be that.
Right. I am quite excited about this. I'm not pretending that I'm going to do it, but it's interesting. Okay. There's a lot more research because the tech is getting better at measuring what's in our guts.
Yeah.
We're able to analyse it and the science is growing in this area of your gut flora, So all the bacteria that are in your intestines are becoming recognised as being really pretty important to your overall well-being.
Yeah. So,
for example, this has existed for a while. Poo transplants has been a thing.
Dude, this is exactly what I was thinking of. I'm glad you said it. Yeah.
So basically, if you have a disease or you have to take hefty antibiotics that wipe out your good bacteria, as Jakob likes to say, then you can have it. The easiest way to replace it is a direct. It's treated, but essentially the poo is put where your poo should go.
Yeah.
So the idea is that the bacteria grow and you grow back your culture of little minions and kind of bacteria that are... And apparently it's not just to do with digestion either. There are a lot of links coming out between the stuff that's in your gut and just your general health, your cardiac health, your respiratory health, all that kind of stuff. So poo vaults, what people are starting to do is they're starting to freeze and save poo samples, like save points in your life.
Yeah.
So the idea is that if you say get to 80 and you suffer with Crohn's disease, just say you have like a real debilitating gut issue crop up, then the idea is that you could take your save game from when you were 20, culture. The only bit of the tech that doesn't exist yet is to mass proliferate the stuff that's in the poo, so they can't just put it in a petri dish and let it grow quickly to be useful. But the idea is eventually you'll take your old poo, generate more of the good bacteria, and then just flush it back in and put you back to where you were gut-wise.
Mate, you've dug like a weird article I read out of me from like a year ago.
Okay, yeah.
I've asked you before, did you check The Verge? Like it's a tech website.
Very occasionally, yeah. I don't, not habitually.
Yeah, but. I kind of check it a lot, but it must have been last year, and I posted it to my friend Kieran because I knew it'd be interesting, that sort of thing. Some guy had some sort of gut problem. He was a scientist, big time gut problem, similar to what you said. I'm not sure it was a disease, but some sort of issue. He was one of the researchers into this poo thing.
Yeah.
And he was convinced that he could make it work. Like, convinced he could make it work. He had been saving his poo and all this weird stuff, been making it into tablets. And basically what he did, he hired out a hotel room.
Yes.
Yeah, weird already, I know. Kind of covered it in stuff so it's sterile all the time.
Weirder.
Sterile all the time, yeah. Getting weird. If you went in there, madman. And basically, to reset his gut in exactly the same way you're saying, he started eating or taking the tablets, which had his good poo in it. And, 2 months later after doing it, all that sort of thing, it worked. And he was like, I'm better than I've ever been. I'll link it to you so you can put it below. It's weird. Usually those big long articles, it's really long. Okay. I'm a bit reluctant to read, but I was like, oh my god, there's loads of pictures of him doing it and all this sort of stuff.
God.
Not in that regard, but you know what I mean, like pictures of him preparing the poo and not actually pooing into a tablet.
Yeah.
But mate, I have heard of it and it is weird, really weird.
Thing is, who knows, mate? This might be by the time your grandkids, they might be going, oh yeah, I'm just going to got my first poo saving appointment now,
Yeah.
Go, and it'll be perfectly routine.
So I'm going for poo. Make sure to save it.
Yeah. God.
Oh. But yeah, weird. But if it works, cool.
Good on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Weird though. Eat your own shit. You might feel a bit better.
We should talk about another bit of tech, which has been in the news fairly recently.
Yeah.
But ITSBUP Classic, it's been in the news like a good few weeks now.
Yeah.
Riding the wave of tech, right on the front of the wave of tech.
Cutting edge.
It is the Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
More details have been announced.
Mate, what is your first impression off the bat?
My first impression is too much like the Wii. That's my first impression.
The Wii U?
The Wii. No, just in general. Just a feel of it. Both.
Yeah.
I feel like it is not aimed at the people. The tech isn't aimed at the people that the games are aimed at. That's how I feel about it. I feel like the console looks a bit too family friendly.
Right.
When the games are very solo, or looking like very solo games. But I'm excited about it. But that's what I think.
My impression off the bat, super excited. Think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But that is also topped up with the same amount of worry about it. I think it's really cool. I love the way they're not competing. Like this isn't an Xbox competitor. This isn't a PS4 competitor. This is its own separate console. It will clearly have its own games. They've said it will run all these games, but it's a portable console. It's running a NVIDIA Tegra chip, which is like a tablet chip. Don't get me wrong, I bet it's optimised to buggery and it will probably look awesome.
Yeah.
But they've already said it's not as powerful as Xbox One or PS4. I understand that doesn't make a difference to me. As long as the games are great, then fine.
Yeah.
But it means it won't be able to play the next Call of Duty, for instance, which, as we all know, is a big seller. It won't run Battlefield, it won't run whatever comes out. It's not going to have its own version of a ball-breaking, amazing graphically game. But that's never really been Nintendo style.
Yeah.
I'm worried because the Wii... It feels like Nintendo still haven't grasped that we've all got a mobile phone.
Yeah, sure.
We've all got a mobile gaming device.
Yeah.
The reason I can't see it... The reason I'm worried about it is because most people probably won't take it out the cradle. I can't... Unless people want to watch TV... I can't. There's people out on the plane and that, and I'm like, oh, come on, man, who's going to take that on holiday with them? It's quite out the case. It's still quite compact. It looks quite good.
Yes, yeah.
But it's running 720.
Yeah.
The clock speed apparently halves when you take it out the dock.
Oh right.
Which is a worry. When it's playing high graphic games like Zelda.
Yeah.
3 hours battery.
Which
might be plenty for some. In fairness, I probably won't want to look at it more than 3 hours. Like I wouldn't play my game on my phone for 3 hours. I wouldn't play my DS for 3 hours straight.
To be fair, is it also relying on the fact that because it's USB charged as well?
USB-C.
USB-C. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Which is cool.
Is it relying on the fact that now, like, you can be on a train and there will be plug sockets there? Is it relying on that people are going to be playing? Because they mention that in this promo as well. They say you can play while it's charging.
Yeah.
They specifically say.
Yeah. That's in fairness, that's a really good point because every train's got a plug now, hasn't it?
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's just that assumption. Are we moving into a world where people just assume there's going to be a power socket near wherever you are?
But I've seen the one thing that does worry is kind of a graphic based thing because they're like, it's going to run Skyrim. This came out in 2011.
Yeah,
big word.
Yeah. No, exactly.
But and they showed a graphics comparison between the new Zelda that's coming out on Wii U and Switch. I've got a Wii U.
Okay.
They looked pretty much nigh on the same, which is fine because obviously it's coming out on both consoles, it must run on both. If someone pushed me to pick which one looked better in that comparison, I would have said the Wii U. The Wii U looks slightly better. Maybe it was just the colours or something.
Sure,
but that worries me. It worries me that the Wii U one looked a bit better.
Yeah. There was I read an article on Wired actually fairly recently, which is one of these annoying things because it put into words how I kind of feel about it.
Yeah.
I'll link the article, openly link the article because it's if I give my own opinion on this, it's going to sound very, very similar to what's in this article as well.
Yeah.
But the guy made a really, really good case. He was saying that the games that have been released or that have been announced rather are not family games.
No, they're not.
They're real. They're almost Nintendo fan games.
Yeah.
Although Super Mario Odyssey isn't coming out until
holiday, which will mean December.
Yeah. Which is weird for them not to launch with a Mario game. Like, I suppose
happy
Mario Kart, I guess.
They're launching with Zelda, which is pretty awesome. That's a system seller.
Yeah,
definitely.
But there's another RPG being launched with it, and the name of it is completely escaping me at the moment. But it's very much you have to invest a lot of time in it, like with Zelda.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at Odyssey when that comes out too.
Yeah.
It's very much you're going to want to spend a lot of time to get through this game.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's almost what it feels like that portability is for. It's for the people who are into it.
Yeah.
Who are like who need to
going to buy one regardless, and not that, but I know what you mean. Would happily take it to bed for an extra hour.
Yes, yeah,
and then put it on the side.
Or a train journey is going to be an inconvenience to their getting through a massively long RPG. Yeah. So
I mean, it's not that portable. Yes, it's portable. Yeah. Like you can pick it up and that, but it's not. I'm worried that the tablet on its own looks fine, but when you connect the Joy-Cons as well,
which is a weird name,
which is a fancy name for the controller. I hope when I see it, I'm just totally wrong.
Sure,
it's not as portable as a tablet.
Yeah,
it's probably as portable as a laptop. And if you're carrying a laptop anyway, maybe it's going to be too heavy or what. I don't know. I don't think it's as crazy cool portable as they make it out to be.
No.
Because I couldn't imagine sitting somewhere publicly and playing it. That's weird. Yeah. I could, I'd probably get away with playing a 3DS publicly. At the age of 26, just pulling out my 2DS actually, and sitting on a step, you could probably get away with that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine pulling out, a full Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, hang on, just let me get one.
Yeah, it just seems weird. But I don't know. It looks really cool. I really hope it does really well. I really hope it's a new Wii, because we could all do with a third competitor.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, if you buy an Xbox PS4, regardless of which camp you're in, the experience is so similar.
Oh, no,
people fight to the death and say they're totally different, but really, they're similarly spec consoles.
Yeah.
They deliver very similar game experiences.
Well, exactly. It's like when we talk about Android and iOS, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It's because what works.
Yeah, exactly.
You might have innovation in one direction by one camp or the other as you go along the road, but at the end of the day, they're both going to come to the same-ish conclusions as to what people want.
Yeah.
The controllers are exactly the same, because holding your hands in that position
makes sense.
Is comfortable. And
yeah, exactly. That's the reason Kinect never took off. People don't want to dance around.
No,
they want to sit down and chill out and play a game.
Yes, yeah, mate, exactly.
Yeah, it's like.
Although, do you know what? This was the other thing, and this is one of these things that I was thinking, and this is in that article as well, talking about how it's weird the new Nintendo console isn't coming out with their kind of like the Wii Sports. It's 1-2 Switch. It's
1-2 Switch. Yeah,
that's not bundled.
No.
And
Wii Sports was bundled, wasn't it? It was like this is what it can do.
Well, the thing is, it's not just saying this is what it can do. It's almost saying this is what this is for.
Yeah.
This is a family console, what have you.
Appealing to all the generations.
Exactly.
Apart from just gamers.
Exactly. But you release it with more of a gamer game, and you're sending out quite a different mission statement saying, no, this is for you. Yeah. This is for you gamers who are into Nintendo. Yeah. You like your old school RPGs. You like your Bombermans. There's a new Bomberman coming out.
That's a weird release.
There's a couple of I know this is pretty standard now, but there are also a load of independent games on there coming out.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. They should do that.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight's coming out for it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. Binding of Isaac. Afterbirth Plus is out for it, or is going to be out for it.
Mate, the one thing I don't know how no one's seen how it runs, the OS. Mm-hmm. But you think with a touchscreen, because it is a touchscreen tablet, you'd think the chance there was rumours early on that it would run with a forked version of Android, and it runs on Android, but it's Nintendo's Android as such.
Yeah, sure.
The chance for them to build in social would be so easy with that tablet. Share to Facebook, share to Twitter, share to whatever. But Nintendo's online has always been shocking.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing they just don't get. Like, this is a classic example of Nintendo not doing it right. Xbox Live, right? You talk over the headset. PSN, you talk over the headset. It works. Yeah. Everyone, you join a party, done. Nintendo Switch, there's no voice chat included. Mm-hmm. To do voice chat, you download an app to your phone, and then you talk through that. It's a phone.
Yeah.
That's its primary function, is talking to other people. So the fact they've decided, do you know what? Let's not build it into the tablet and a really good interface that could work. Let's build it into something separate that not everyone might not have. Like kids, for instance. Might not even have a smartphone.
That's a really good point.
It's
I don't know whether this is still the case now, but it also used to be that for everyone talking about how Facebook is a big deal. I know we all know that fewer young people are on Facebook now.
Yeah.
But also apparently it's never really hit it off in Japan.
Really? Oh no, it hasn't, has it? Neither is like YouTube and that. It's not.
It's one of these big reminders that we don't, that we do somewhat live in a bit of a bubble. Of the West. Of that. Because they just don't use it so much over there. So maybe that's why it isn't on their minds. It's just a culture difference. I don't know. I don't know if that's still true.
They don't use like WhatsApp. Do they use Line?
Yes.
Which is like got games and stuff built in and all that weird kind of like very Japanese. Weird stuff. It's I hope the Switch does really well. I really do, because I want to play another Metro Prime, and I want to put out Metro Prime 4 or whatever.
Do you know what I really, really wish they'd do? Because I would buy a console purely for this, is if they released another Super Metroid style large world, if not open world, large world platformer.
Yeah.
Like Super Metroid for the SNES.
Yeah.
It's old school. I know I'm just an old man school. Pining after my youth.
They're amazing.
But dude, that game was the shit.
It is.
It's so good.
It's so somber. It's, always dark.
Really like very alien.
Really like Metroid games. Did you play Prime?
I played it briefly. Dude, it's a good game.
Prime was incredible, and 1, 2, 3 are all so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wish they'd make a.
Out of interest, what do you think of Super Mario Odyssey?
I think that's really cool. I think they do an amazing job. They always do. Mario 3D, like Sonic 3D just didn't work.
Yes.
Sega just didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Opposite end on Mario. They nailed it. Mario 64 was stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Galaxy after that, or was it
Sunshine
between? Sunshine.
Yeah.
Still really good. Actually, no, it was great.
Sunshine was really good.
It was great.
Yeah.
Sunshine was great. Galaxy was stunning.
Yeah.
Galaxy 2 was even better.
Yeah.
And I think they'll do an amazing job.
I hope they do.
I don't think they can go wrong. They just know how to treat him in 3D world.
Yeah.
Because Galaxy, me and Callie loves Galaxy. Like, has played it, got all the extra stuff, played it to death.
Yeah.
And it is great. You pick it up and you play it, and Nintendo probably love to hear this, but you literally smile the second you start playing it. Like, this is great. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
Because it is like that.
Yeah. It's not difficult to play. It's fun to play. Yeah. Sure.
I think
it's a difficult transition though. I think it's kind of good that they've kept. It's almost like they've recognised the distinction where they're still making really good platformers, but they're also doing these bigger projects, if you like.
Yeah.
I think that's good that they've kind of not decided that one's better than the other.
No.
They've just gone, look, this can be our AAA Mario title, if you like, but then we still want to make good, solid platformers with it.
And this is a good example of where the Wii U didn't kind of hit the mark. There was no 3D Mario Adventure for it. There was no AAA. They had Mario 3D World, which is like a 3D Land spin-off from the 3DS. Really good, but it's not a Mario Galaxy. I assumed they were going to do Mario Galaxy 3 because it's 1 and 2. I was like, 3 would come out for Wii U.
Yeah.
And it never did.
Mm.
So, I feel Wii U hasn't worked at Sega.
They do listen to this podcast, so...
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
they want to get in contact with any other ideas.
Yeah. We're here.
Make Metro Prime 4.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking for more sponsorship. First, it's Apple. We're riding on the coattails of Apple.
Well, I know, maybe it's too big to follow.
Yeah.
Because they sponsor me to say, like, Apple-related stuff. You may not have noticed, but I've been sneaking Apple into every conversation. I'm
do they also sponsor the videos where you go, I don't really like this Apple product? Do they sponsor those ones the most?
They want those ones to, like, collapse.
Yeah.
Whenever I say the Samsung is better, they love that. And they love flushing me with cash for that. It's been great.
Mate, I think that is pretty much it. The show. Boom.
Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We'll forever keep that under our hats. Unless it's amazing, in which case...
We'll tell you next episode if it's worked well. And if it hasn't worked well, you'll never know.
We're on episode 5, mate.
That is
5 out of 6.
It is a milestone.
It is. Well, dude, I suspect... Is it feeling like we might do more after 6?
I've got a gut feeling we might.
But we'll never die. But for at least, for the 6th one, we should do something special. We'll figure out.
We'll figure it out.
something cool. We might even, I know we talk about having special super secret guest stars.
Yeah.
You never know. We'll get it all on the go.
Yeah. I'll be doing something special for the sixth form.
Oh, fantastic.
Maybe we should have a shot every 5 minutes.
Brilliant.
So towards the end, it's just this mess of puke and
just sick everywhere.
It's ITSBUP Live, like just people throwing up.
Dude,
like you just wandered off for
yeah,
ages. I haven't seen him in half an hour.
I'm pretty sure he's still here. If you've made it this far into the podcast, then maybe you I don't know. Would you go as far as say enjoyed? That's a weird word to
like. You know when you grit your teeth and bear something.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Well done, Randy. If you've got this far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who else? What listens?
It's Randy.
Jack said he does, but I don't reckon he does.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's full of it.
Prove me wrong, Jack.
Yeah. If you've got this far, then hit the grimace button. I mean, the like button.
Grimace. Go ape on that grimace button.
Yeah, just you should have that on YouTube. Grin and bear it. Grit your teeth button.
Yeah,
hit that.
Just the middle one between the two.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Hit it. Hit that, and then unhit it, and hit it again.
Give us a comment.
Comment, yeah,
if you want.
Yeah, tell us what you think about the Switch. Whether you're excited to buy it or whether you have an Apple Watch, whether you want to tell Tom he's talking shit, and you want to take his place, like because it is like Highlander, isn't it, with people who are sponsored by Apple?
Oh yeah, they'll move on.
Is it they have to? Is it they have to kill you, or they have to just take your soul?
It's like disablement. They'll just remove an arm or
fine, and then the Apple sponsorship transfers to them. So yeah, leave a comment challenging Tom to a time and a place. Yeah, I think he'd be quite grateful at this point.
Fight to the death.
It's like the Apple albatross from round his neck.
Yeah.
Share it around, comment, like, whatever. Tom, if they want to find you online, have you decided which Twitter account you're going to carry on using?
No, I thought about it earlier, and I was just like, do you know what? Whatever one, just go back at Teddy Hitch. It's the easiest, isn't it?
At Teddy Hitch.
At Teddy Hitch.
I'm at Benji Wanling. You can send us whatever messages you like.
Awesome.
Pictures of yourself.
Pictures of
if you like.
Ben.
Pictures of me. Yeah, send me some pictures of me.
Find one, stalk him and post it below.
Awesome. And we'll see you next time, I guess.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.